So today we're talking about generosity, and we're talking about generosity in a very niche field. We're talking about generosity in partnership. Now, when I say partnership, we can look at partnership in terms of business or partnership in terms of romance. And what I want to ask you, the first part of this is, do you own your partnerships? Do you own your partnerships? Meaning, how lackluster or passive are you about the partnerships that exist in your life? So many guys have partnerships that they don't really acknowledge and recognize. How many brothers or sisters, how many business people, how many people are in your life who are really partnered with you, whose partnership you do not acknowledge? That acknowledgement is the first step of your generosity. I'm going to say it again. How many partnerships do you currently have in your life that you have not acknowledged? God, girlfriend, wife, business, brothers, people who are partnering with you. And I know this word partnership is a little elusive. We have business partnership, which is a legally binding agreement. And then we have other types of partnerships like energetic partnerships. We have partnerships around our purpose. How many of you guys have men who are supporting your life's purpose? And they are your partners in that field, in that mission. And we have multiple missions as men. One mission is to provide for our family and for our children. Another mission is our mission to God, our purpose. And in each of these missions, we have partnerships. And the first position that you can own is the actual partnership, is the acknowledgement of the partnership. And what I tell people is, when you do not acknowledge any type of a field, the field itself cannot serve you. When you do not acknowledge a partnership you have with another man who is partnering with you in your success, in your greatness, in your kingdom, when you don't even acknowledge it, and when I say acknowledge, I'm not just talking about acknowledge in secret, I'm talking about ownership. Owning and saying, hey, I see you. I love your partnership. I admire how much you are investing in me. The moment you acknowledge any field is the moment that the field has the authority to acknowledge you. And this here is a part of leadership. So many of us are in partnerships, but we're afraid to own it because we recognize that the owning of the partnership means that it comes with some responsibility. But it's not till you own the partnership that you can fully benefit from it. So today we're talking about business and romantic partnerships and other types of partnerships as well. And my first question for you in the field of generosity is, how committed and loyal are you to your partnerships? Are you part-time partner or are you full-time partner? And it's okay to be part-time as long as you own the part-time and you clear the part-time ownership and you say, hey, we are part-time partners. God knows what that even means. I don't even know what that means, but maybe that's a path. But to me, a partnership is full-time. It means you show up fully. It means you take ownership fully. It means you take responsibility and you say sorry fully when it's your fault, when it's your ownership. And only then can we start the generosity cycle. Why? Because when you build a container as a man, when you build a container with a partner, what you're saying is, hey, listen, I'm about to unleash my generosity upon you. Think about that from the position of a king. Does a king give generosity from a sideways action? Does a king throw bones on the side, like, hey, here's a little bone for you to chew on? Or does a king create a container so that he can unleash his full generosity, generational power? This is very powerful, brothers, because when you create a partnership container, what you're doing is you're creating a safe space for you and for the other person to really unleash, really fucking unleash. I've seen this with multiple circumstances in my life. I'll give you one simple one. It happens with women all the time. When you're dating a woman and you're just kind of like dating, you're not, how do you say, when you're fully convicted with another person, it's called, what's the word for it, guys? Help me out. When you're not exclusive, what a word. When you're not exclusive with a woman, the amount of benefit you receive is limited. And you've all seen it. It's that moment where you tell the person, look, I'm exclusive with you. I'm all in. Only then do they open up the additional layers of their generosity. And this concept of exclusivity and conviction and commitment is so scary for us men. Why? Because we've been told that once you're committed, you're fucking burdened. You can't get out. Let us not get stuck with that. Let me share with you something here. You can always choose out. You are never burdened. You are not a slave. The challenge is that we get involved with people and then we are afraid to own our power. We are afraid to say, hey, I made a mistake. I want to quit. I want to stop. Hey, I want to create a boundary. Hey, I'm no longer interested. So our fear gets us sucked in to relationships and we prolong the pain for ourselves and others. I've done it. I've been in relationships where I knew I should have ended it months ago and I was too scared. And by the time it ended, it created pain and destruction. The power of your container is in your hands. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. Use your containers powerfully. Use your containers powerfully. Put in the chat, I use my containers powerfully. I use my containers powerfully. When I create containment, I'm creating an environment where I can unleash my generator capabilities. And the container has rules, expectations. We'll talk about that when you get trained in the Guardian training program. Containment. We're just opening up the space right now, brothers. So the first step is to create the container. The first step is to create such a powerful container that you can unleash your joy, your generosity, and your vulnerability at a level that blesses the other person. That when you say, I am sorry, I made a mistake, this is my ownership, that person is blessed by it. And conversely, you're able to give yourself, you're able to generate at such levels that the person is blessed. And in a container that is safe, powerful, and defined, you're able to also receive. You're able to also nourish yourself. And recognize that containers take courage, because what you're saying is, I am in partnership. I am in a space of commitment with you. I take this relationship seriously. This is not just a passive drive-by generosity game for me. I'm owning this with you. The next is, how generous are you in your partnership? Sometimes. How generous are you in your partnership? Sometimes. And do you expect your partner to be generous with you always? Are you sometimes generous and expecting generosity always? I know a lot of us fall into that. I do. It takes stamina, because sometimes when we unleash our generosity, what we're doing is we're saying, wow, I'm about to give. And sometimes we get fatigued as men. Sometimes we need rest. Sometimes we need recovery. And in those moments, the person that we're in partnership with, they feel like you kind of evacuated. How are you communicating in that moment? How are you reassuring in that moment? So this concept of partnership is it's a real interesting space. I'm learning about it myself. Because a lot of times when we create a container of generosity and we can't be generous, we become resistant and resentful sometimes of our partner. Why aren't they being generous? I was generous. Just something to watch, something to talk about. Last thing I'm going to bring up, these are just questions, okay? I'm learning with you on this. Next question is, how creative are you with your generosity? How creative are you with your generosity? Are you always running into the partnership with the same angle? Are you always coming in at the same tone, the same song, the same dance? I'll give you an example. So I've been married for about 7 months. And for the last 7 months, my wife keeps telling me, I don't feel safe. And every time she says that, I'm surprised. I'm literally shocked because I tell myself I'm providing a beautiful home. I have bank accounts, credit cards, everything she needs. I have everything. I don't beat her. I don't yell at her. I don't scream at her. I'm a healthy man. I check myself. And yet, every single time she says, I don't feel safe. What? And it's not that I'm not generous. My generosity is expansive. So what's the problem? So I reached out to some of the brothers from our men's group this last week, and I shared with them my challenge. I said, guys, I don't know what's going on with me. I want to take ownership in my relationship. My wife keeps telling me she's not feeling safe. One of the brothers in this room said, hey, what is she telling you about her lack of safety? I said, she keeps telling me to be gentle with her, to be soft and gentle, but I don't hit her. I don't yell at her. What do you mean gentle? And immediately this guy said, oh, those are somatic terms. Somatic terms. How are you cuddling with her? How are you touching her without words? And immediately I broke into tears. I knew exactly what I was missing. My generosity had a limitation in its creativity. It had a blind spot. Since then, every day, I spend 15 minutes cuddling with my wife in the morning when I wake up, no words. And 15 minutes cuddling with her at night before we go to sleep, no words. You see, my generosity was mostly in the word, was mostly in the service. Like, hey, I'm going to give you a nice home, a nice car. I'm going to tell you how amazing and beautiful you are. But what I didn't realize is the generosity that was relevant for her was the physical environment, the physical container. So this is a new creative thing for me. Creativity, wow, I can actually just shut the hell up and spend time with her for 15 minutes, just highly physically present. It's changed our entire marriage. I didn't know this kind of generosity even existed. So when we talk about generosity, what I'm bringing forth to you is an example. And sometimes we're in partnership and we give everything we have. Sometimes in partnership, we give everything. We give the house, we give the cars, we give the praise, we give the love, we give everything. And the partner says, I don't feel fulfilled. And we take it as a punishment as men. Let's not do that. Let's look inward and let's say, okay, where can I be more creative? Where can I show up in a way that would completely reshape this relationship and blow the person's mind? It would actually blow my own mind. This creativity, brothers, is your connection to God. This creativity is your connection to your ultimate partner. Let's go there. This is the deeper level of today's lesson. Your partnership with your wife, your girlfriend, your partnership with your business partner is one thing. But it generates, it births from the ultimate partnership, your partnership with God. You see, God is the ultimate partner. There's a reason that Jewish men wear a kippah on their head. The reason is that they're constantly reminding themselves that they have an ultimate partner above them, that their ego stays on check, that there is a being, a source that has all answers, and that the man can never stand in his ego without this ultimate partner named God. So let's talk about that for a moment. Let's talk about that for a moment. The first question I have for you as a man is, how generous are you with your ultimate partner? No, not your business partner, not your wife, God. I'm not talking about the old white guy. I'm talking about the field of possibility. How generous are you with the field of possibility? How generous are you? And when I say that, a lot of people are like, wait, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean generous? Most of the time, I've been begging my partner, God, to help me, and the partner hasn't helped, so I forgot about him. So your first generosity to the field of possibility is your acknowledgement. Where can you be more generous in acknowledging God's existence in every part of your life? We do this by talking about miracles. Miracles. You see, so many of us have been brainwashed to think that miracles are only when Moses parts the sea, when Jesus falls from the sky, or when I win the lottery. Only that's a miracle. But what we've forgotten is that miracles exist in every single moment. How stingy are you with acknowledging them? How much are you waiting for Jesus to fall before you, like, okay, that's a miracle? Instead, become more generous with the field and recognize how there are miracles in every single moment. I call these micro miracles. Micro miracles. You see, until you start recognizing and acknowledging the micro miracles that are happening in every single moment of your day, until you stop acknowledging these, how can you ever get the macro miracles? I'm going to say that again. Until you start acknowledging the micro miracles that are happening in every single part of your day, how can you ever acknowledge and receive the macro miracles? You see, when you are in partnership, it is your responsibility to train your partner. Imagine being a boss and never giving acknowledgement to your employee. Imagine being a boss and the only time you give acknowledgement to your employee is when the employee hits a home run. That's stingy. And what I'm asking you to do is to be a generous boss. Be a generous partner. And when it comes to God, the field of possibility, give the acknowledgement, give the consideration for every single miracle that is provided to you every single moment. This is generosity. This is the ultimate generosity. This is the type of generosity that gets you your kingdom. Whew. Guys, if you're feeling me on this, put in the chat, I'm feeling you. If you're feeling me on this, put in the chat, I am feeling you. Thank you. I'm feeling you too, Antonio. I'm feeling you too, Shaw Cole. Carrie, I'm feeling you. Shane Carling, I'm feeling you. Jordan, I'm feeling you from Denver. We're going to come to Denver and visit you. Billy Neal, I'm feeling you, baby. Keegan, I feel you. Forrest, welcome to Keegan's coaching. I'm feeling you. Faraz, I feel you, brother. Welcome to our coaching. I miss you, brother. Michael Dash, I'm feeling you hard. Love you, brother. All right, let's go a little deeper, okay? We're going to go deeper with this because this month we're talking about generosity. This month, we're talking about generosity. And let me tell you, the easiest, most petty form of generosity is when you give somebody money. That's easy. What the real challenge is when you're actually generous with your time, generous with your energy, generous with your words. And yes, you can be generous with others so easily. That's how every one of us men have been trained. but how generous can you be with yourself? How generous can you be with yourself as a man? That's a challenge for some of us men who've been givers, who've been giving nonstop. And then there is the ultimate form of generosity. The ultimate form of generosity comes with your ultimate partner, God. How generous are you with God? How willing are you to acknowledge miracles every single moment? How willing are you to say, God, what would you like of me today? How can I give you my time? How can I give you my energy? How can I give you my words, my grace, my edification? Wow. That level of generosity takes faith. That level of generosity takes faith. You see, when we are in divine partnership, partnership of pure equality, partnership that is pure, partnership that has no bounds, no ends, no limits, it's freedom, it's abundance at the highest freaking level. In that field of partnership, you give generously and you ask how you can serve. You see, our brother Antonio is wearing a crown today. The ultimate kings get crowned by God. The ultimate kings get crowned by God. The petty kings get crowned through aggression and dominance. You know how many kings in history have ruled through dominance, aggression, and pure savagery? But very few kings win the crown of God. Their kingdoms are vast. These kings are well known. Their word carries through history. You've heard of their names. King Solomon, King David. These kings were anointed by the ultimate partner. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how you can open that field of partnership. Oof. Brothers, thank you for allowing me to go there with you. And I feel scared to talk about these things because I myself have a lot of stigma. I've been told, like, oh, religious people, don't talk about God. Don't say the G word. Oh my God. But here, I'm talking pure. Here, I'm not talking dogma. Here, I'm not talking fear or diminishment. Here, I'm talking freedom. And what I know is that when you're in partnership with the ultimate partner, talking about God, the field of possibility, when you're in partnership with the field of possibility, you don't just ask. You don't just ask for your needs. You also ask, what do you want from me, God? How can I serve you today? How can I show up for you? What do you need from me? And in equality relationships, that with God, when the command comes, when the request comes, watch this, when the request comes, you don't say, give me proof, show me why. You just do it. You see, many of us have been trained through logic. Many of us have gone through school. We've been trained through logic. And no wonder we can't have a partnership with God. Because when you're trained through logic, you need proof. And when you need proof, you don't take action until you have proof. So many of us get a message in our minds, in our hearts. God says, I know your house is on the right, but I need you to take a left turn right now. And if you've been raised through the doctrine of industrial school systems, you first need proof. You need it in writing. You need it to be notarized. You need 100 bullet points of why take a left turn. But when you act in faith, in partnership with God, you just take that damn left turn because you know that the blessings that will come are immeasurable. And many of the blessings aren't even meant for you. You might be taking a left turn to bless someone else. Remember what I said, in the field of generosity, your reciprocity doesn't always come from the person you give to. The field of possibility has many delivery mechanisms. It doesn't just come through your mailbox. It comes from all directions. So where are you willing to take direction from the field? That's your generosity. How generous are you when no one's watching? How generous are you when no one's watching? How many of you need to prove your generosity to your girlfriend, to your wife, to your friends? Like God said, take a left turn. And now you're like, fuck, how do I take a left turn? Oh my God, if I took this left turn, how am I going to explain this to my wife, to my girlfriend, to my employees? If you have employees, please raise your hand. If you have people who you report to, whether they're your followers, people who you support, please raise your hand. People you provide for. Yes, all of you are raising hands. All of you are providers. Here's my question to you. Many of us have humans that we support. After all, we are providers as men. How many times have you been asked by God, by your intuition, to take a left turn, and the first thing you thought is, holy fuck, if I take this left turn, how am I going to justify it to my followers, to my employees, to my wife? How am I going to justify? Fuck. And so you didn't take the left turn because it was too challenging to justify. I've done it myself so many times. And let me tell you something. Godly leaders do not succumb to the demands of their followers. Godly leaders do not succumb to the demands of their followers. What this means is that when you act in faith, when you get a message from God that you need to take a left turn, and you take the left turn, you do not need to justify it to those who you are supporting. Because the moment of justification is a fawn. You have faith, you have courage, you have conviction, and you have the ability to take responsibility, ownership, which means that if anyone gets hurt in your left turn, you will be there to support them. You will be there to supply them. You will be there to hold them high. In this is courage. In this is devotion. In this is a godly leader. And here, today, we're talking about generosity in partnership. Guys, sometimes in your partnerships, you got to do things that don't make any fucking sense. I've been there. I have multiple partners in this very room. Men who've given their entire life, their finances, their freedom, their time to the expansion of this very movement. And so many times, I had to take a left turn and I almost shit myself. How am I going to go to these partners and say to them, brother, I'm so sorry. I need to take this left turn. Are they going to leave me? Are they going to ridicule me? Are they going to call me a piece of whatever? And so many times I took the heat. I took the left turn. Some of them felt like mistakes, but I did it anyway. And let me tell you, the aftermath of the left turn was more magnificent, more productive than the left turn itself. The aftermath, when the guy comes to you and says, what the fuck are you doing, Solay? I can't believe you did that. That moment is the beginning of the relationship, not the end. This is partnership. Partnership, generosity. Welcome. This is beautiful work. What I'd like to do is I'd like to call upon the wisdom of our brotherhood right here, right now. We're going pretty deep today. So I'd like those of you who feel called right now, there are some of you in this room who feel the energy. You're feeling something inside of you. It's like something is awakening. And I'm asking you to raise your hand. And I'm asking you to speak with intention, to share with us, what are you hearing? What are you remembering? You see, none of this is new learning. I'm not teaching you anything. I don't want you to come up here and say, I'm learning X, Y, or Z. You already know this. This is in your genes. And I want to hear from those of you who are remembering certain things in this field. And I'm asking for you to speak on behalf of the group, on behalf of the tribe. What is here for you to share with us? Keep it intentional. Keep it powerful. Keep it profound. Let us remember together. Please raise your hand if you're feeling called to share something around this topic. What are you remembering? What can you articulate to us that we can remember with you? Some of you will say things that I cannot say. My articulation is different. Some of you will say it in a way that I will remember, or some other man will, wow, I love hearing that. He said it in a way that I didn't hear from Solay. I love this. Who feels called? Please come up and share. I'm just giving space. God just told me that there's a few of you that need to speak, that there's some energy that needs to enter this space. Jordan, brother,
Solay,
share with us.
this is more of a question, and I would like some clarity on this, on what you're saying. How do you know that you're speaking to God? Because there are numerous examples throughout history where people have killed thousands of women as witches, witch hunts, or started wars in the name of God, or the Inquisition killing off, thousands of people. There's numerous examples throughout history. So, is that really God speaking?
Thank you so much for sharing. This is
And I
such
know
a
that's not what you were looking, it's not what you were looking for, but I think it's a really important point here.
it's such a profound question, and I will share. I want to still give some space for others to enter and deposit, and I will share about this. It's a very powerful question.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to hold off on it. Thank you. Anybody else want to contribute information, calling, uh, anything that feels empowering for you and for the team here? Billy Neal.
So the past 4 or 5 months, I've made some really big changes and decisions in my life, with people coming into my life at certain times and other people showing up in ways that haven't been the most beneficial, but have helped me move in the direction I need to go. And at this point in my life right now, I'm actually sometimes forgetting and then remembering to let the field of possibility activate and work with me instead of trying to do it by myself. So doing this work for the last 5 years, I remember that when life is really hard and I'm not sure what's going on, that's when I'm remembering I'm doing this by myself. But then when I start with stronger intention of activating the universe, what I'm looking for in our tribes, Terry suggested that we do a 90-day goals. And in those 90 days goals, that was me remembering, what do I want? What do I ask for? And in generosity is putting in the faith and the effort for what I'm asking for from the universe. And so what I'm trying to say here and be potent and on point is that a generosity to the field of possibilities, acknowledging it is there. It's having faith that it's there. It's putting energy that it's there. It's when it says to go left, even though it feels really uncomfortable, I go left. And when the money in the bank account seems like it goes away, getting scared, but knowing it's going to be okay. And then somehow, literally in conversations talking about money, I receive money in that moment. Like literally, I've had that happen to me multiple times. But it's just having faith and just acknowledging it. I put a little something on the side that God could mean for me, gratitude of the divine field, right? And just knowing that it's there and acknowledging it and putting energy behind it. So that's what came up for me, is that when I lone wolf it is when I'm being egocentric and thinking I can do it myself. But then remembering that I have a business partner and that I'm accountable for that makes the path a little bit brighter.
Oh, amen. Thank you, brother. Being generous with the field, acknowledging the field, and having a level of acknowledgement of the field at all moments, even when things look like they're not turning to your benefit. Thank you. Michael Dash.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to share the importance of taking ownership of the partnerships that we create. And it's come in my field over the last week where brothers of mine are doing business together. And one of them is unhappy with the service that they've received. And I've been in that position. I don't know how many other brothers can relate. You know, you hire somebody to do something and you're not happy with the outcome of it, but they've contractually filled their obligation. And I find it so important to take ownership of our part in that, that I made the decision to hire this person and they contractually filled their obligation. So I'm not passionate. I'm not going to get my money back. I'm not going to, you know, go around the side. I'm going to take ownership of the decision I made. And so, hey, I know you personally have had this happen to you as well. You hired somebody. They didn't necessarily fulfill everything that they said they were going to do. And you took ownership that you made that decision. And yes, you don't, you call the person forth, but you don't go after and chase, let's say, money in relationships like this. I don't know if my point is truly coming across, but in this situation that I'm mentioning, the two brothers, like one of them paid the other, they did months of work, and now they're trying to take all the money back and of work that they've already done. That's not ownership. That's not ownership. You know, I had a brother in here. He's not with the organization anymore, but I hired him. He did a website. He did not do what I wanted, but I made the decision to hire him, right? And I take ownership of it. And I'm not going to go and try to get money back from him and just chase and chase and chase. That is leaky energy and it's not in devotion. Just want to share when we talk about partner and taking ownership in that partnership of our place. And hopefully it came across somewhat. I feel like it's gambling a bit, but hopefully somebody got my point.
Amen. Thank you. What I hear you say is taking ownership in the partnership. You ignited it, you created it, you own it. Results are on you. Thank you. Carrie Z, hit us, brother. This is the last share.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, thank you for the message. I mean, it remind me of some of the stuff you've been like lecturing a couple months ago or something. Just a refresher about like how you just gotta have the faith. And also when you mentioned that like when God told you to make a left turn and you made that left turn anyway, in which I could remember because I mean I've been in a Man of Means like last year as well. Maybe I'm guessing it's like you know, some of the brothers left because you know, you chose to just like focus on spirituality or something like that, and but you still keep the faith in your decision despite some of the brothers who may not really align with you, in which like that's a faith I'm trying to seek as well, because a lot of my decisions are still very fear based, even though I've been always learning spirituality and stuff like that. One thing is about like analyzing mine is you know, I've been, you know, teaching in school and study Christian apologetics, and being very like, you know, intrigued with you know, how to you know, I must need to see the evidence in order for me to make that decision. So that's just something I got to work on. And I think spirituality is also a muscle, and you just gotta train like every day in order to build it. So yeah, that's my share.
Thank you. Whew. Let's all take a deep breath together. Beautiful. So our brother Jordan asked a question whose answer is going to take a long time because it's a thorough answer. It's a very deep answer. I don't want to shortcut the answer. So I'm just checking in with myself as a leader of this session of how I want to approach so that I can also serve the other men in their needs. Give me a moment. Yeah, Jordan, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit to giving you a call this week and sharing the answer with you one-on-one so that we can continue this session with a breakout and so that you can receive your answer. It is so important for me, Jordan, that you get the answer you want. And so I will make time out of my week this week to reach out to you personally and have this conversation. Yes? Yes, I love you. Thank you for asking the question. Yes.
Is it possible? Is it possible
Yes.
for you to create a video with your answer to share with all of us?
Oh, I am so scared. Yes, I am so scared. It's a radical answer, okay? So I'm going to share it with you guys and let's see what happens.
And I would maybe even suggest, even on top of that, I love that idea, Michael and Soleil. I think it'd be amazing if everybody made a video in the chat of how they talk to God, how they know they're talking to God. Because I know I do. And I'm just curious, other people too. So
Jordan, I love it. I'd love for you to go first to set a template for the rest of the men of what you have, what you're envisioning. I have a feeling that you have a vision of how this can happen. So enroll us. Let's go.
thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, Michael, thank you. Great job, guys. Teamwork. Okay, let's take another deep breath. Antonio, do you have breakout rooms ready? Okay, so I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to give you the prompt for this breakout room. We have 15 minutes total before this session ends, and we go into a reflection room hosted by Terry. In this breakout session, I want you to own your partnerships. What does that mean? I want you to list, who are you in partnership with? Who are your partners? I'm in a partnership with my wife. I have multiple partnerships with men. Here's boom, boom, boom. Own your partnerships. And then on round 2 of the same room, you're not going to come back. You're going to stay in the room. Round 2 of the same room, you're going to talk about where your generosity exists within those partnerships. Where your generosity exists within your partnerships. As an example, one of my partnerships is with my wife. Where I am generous with her is by cuddling with her 15 minutes a day. One of my generosities is with God. Where I am generous with God is I pray every single day and I ask God what God wants me to do. And I just do it, no matter how fucking weird it sounds and no matter how scary it is. And here, the intention is for you to showcase the ownership of your partnerships and for you to showcase the types of generosity that you play with. And this is a learning experience for the other men because they're going to get to see what is possible. There's multiple types of partnerships we have here, multiple types of generosity, and let us showcase them. We have 10 minutes in this space. I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Groups should be of 4, 5 maximum. Is that doable, Antonio? Thank you. Guys, we'll see you in 10 minutes. 2 rounds in the same room.